that Damon and Bonnie are going to be together somewhere mysterious at the beginning of the season.
It's called The Other Side. Not Damon's bedroom. Could be, who knows? I remember when we were designing Damon's bedroom, the whole idea was, he's got a pretty dope bedroom here. Flip it this way. The whole idea was that when building Damon's bed, because he has this custom bed, I think it's 1.5 Cal Kings. I think it might actually be 2 Cal Kings together. Because I said he needs to be able to fit at least 8 sorority girls.
Side by side or?
Well, side by side. I mean, that would be excessive. I'm not a big fan of sorority girls because I think sororities are a little antiquated and a little scary. But it is what it is. I mean, I love sorority. I love girls in general, but if you're in a sorority, and it's not that I dislike you. I just think all that stuff is a little intense. But nonetheless, Damon would have 8 of you if he could. And I'm going to catch a lot of shit for that. It's all big frats and sororities and schools, but I think they're weird. However, Damon loves them. He loves eating them, sleeping with them, showering with them. I've had my fair share. It all works out. No, I mean, listen. The whole idea is this other side, Bonnie and Damon are pretty profoundly connected. And I think that there's a very, very fine line between love and hate. We all know that. And I think these two have been through an exorbitant amount of experiences together. Mostly really dark and a little crazy. But I think what's going to do is lend itself to creating some very cool stories. And, Kat Graham, I think, is one of the best actors out there. And I've been very much looking forward to this for a long time. The great thing, too, is that her and I work with the same acting coach, this woman, Ivana Chubbuck. If you ever know what I do or what she does, read this fucking book, man. It'll blow your mind. Because you look at her client list and you realize, oh, these are people that I really respect. I love to see the way they think. Because it's about finding the connective tissue between what's going on in our own lives, past, present, and future, and infusing it weaving it into the thread of the text to make something that's tangible and profound and connected. Kat and I work the same way. So what's great about it is we get to work together as individuals with Ivana, and then we get to work together as a group. So it becomes very profound and crazy, and the shit that's going through our minds while we're shooting is very dark and weird and incredible. So it makes us very connected to one another. So I'm very much looking forward to being able to, perpetuate that way of working. It is a dynamic acting process, and also too is a sort of great through line for life. It really allows you to break down a lot of the things that have happened to you in your life, and you use that as opposed to letting it fester and become very unhealthy. It's quite cathartic. It's extraordinarily cathartic, actually. And so to be able to do that with Kat is a blessing.
Guys, last question.
For all the darkness going on in the show, how's the atmosphere of the set? Do you sort of keep it light?
Oh, we joke and fuck with each other beyond the scope of comprehension. I mean, our blooper reels are boring because you sort of have to be there. It's a dramatic. Listen, let's be honest, guys. This is a teen vampire soap opera. Unless you're like, it's one of those you had to have been there things. Typically, our blooper reels blow because there's just not anything. We don't have time to be outlandish and funny. We don't get to shoot little skits together and stuff. I mean, I remember we were doing them on Lost because it was an older audience too. I mean, we had blooper reels on Lost. I remember once Maggie Grace and I were shooting the scene where we were on the plane and she's like going through her carry-on. She's looking for something, and I don't know if it was JJ or Damon. Somebody had me put this like ginormous sex toy in her bag. It was huge. This thing was like, I don't know who uses this thing, but kudos to them, man. And she was going through this thing, and she pulls it out, and she goes, and that she was on camera. Now that literally made me pee on myself when I watched that on this giant screen. Those are the kind of bloopers that we want to do, but we don't get the ability to. But we shot this because we didn't really have any footage for a sizzle reel for Comic-Con. We shot this really funny little sort of parody on our show that we're going to air at the panel. That was fucking funny. And it was a great way to start the season. It very well could be our last. And this is, I think now that there's a finality to it, I think everyone's really realizing, wow, man, this is a very important part of time in our lives. And we created some very cool storytelling. And this crazy son of a bitch is back. Matt Davis.
Do you think
Alaric,
he's going to try to find you?
Alaric, yeah, we're blood brothers.